doing some shows together.
Let's keep talking about it.
And also, if they're not, that's cool. I like hanging out with you.
Let's answer their juicy questions.
Yeah, so we did some questions. Last time we did, sex and relationship, and this time I kind of just didn't ask me anything.
Yeah.
So, you said you got two. Do you want to start with yours, or you want me to rip first?
Why don't you go ahead and just dive in here? We didn't really narrow this down, did we? It was just to ask us anything?
Yeah, I got a variety.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Perfect. Mine are both like relationship.
I definitely have enough there, but
Yeah,
we'll cover it.
Okay.
Drew, just title this whichever one sounds the most clickbaity.
Yeah,
You're welcome, Internet.
All right, let's just dive in.
Yeah, we'll just dive in.
Who's got a question?
Matt Howie. I'm not going to read their names.
Okay.
Just
You
takes
might not
forever.
want to read their name. Like, what if someone was asking
whatever.
someone
Yeah.
kind of private?
All right,
whatever.
anonymous names. I'm going to
Definitely not Matt Howie.
Well, this is Matt Howie's question.
Okay.
What's your nighttime routine like?
Oh,
Ours are
geez.
slightly different.
Go
Mine
ahead.
involves I come upstairs, I get out of my clothes, and I get in bed.
Possibly brushes his teeth.
Yeah. Usually I've done that after I shower, though.
Yeah.
It's not my last move before bed. I do it while I'm in the bathroom already.
But I think you can dive into like our evening routine together. Like, let's back it up
Okay.
a couple hours.
Yeah,
here.
that's like I'm going to bed.
Yeah. So, like, what happens after dinner?
So, evening routine, which leads to the nighttime routine. Typically by the time I get home, which kind of varies, right? Like, I mean, when I'm done with work, I'm home between 5 and 8,
Yeah.
give or take. From there, it's really distance from the phone. Try to plug it in another room to get away from it. There's nothing that's going to happen in the next 12 fucking hours that needs my response.
Yeah, you've done a good job of always keeping it downstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless we have a flight or some shit.
Yeah.
Depending on how beat I am from the day, sometimes I need to like soak. Or if I had a hot tub, that's what I would do and start down regulating. I start smoking more and usually eat dinner. And then we watch a show or try to pick a new thing or any of that. Like our nighttime routine really involves this like 101. That's really valuable to both of us. It's literally our favorite part of the day is this getting to fucking hang out on the couch with each other and watch a movie or something like that.
Yeah. And being away from our phones and not talking about business, you know?
No.
Because so much of just constant conversation is forward momentum things, right? And that includes business. And sometimes by the end of the day, like, I just want to exist with you.
Same. Or I'd rather talk about what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And not business-wise, right? Like, what's the next
Travel,
adventure? Like,
yeah.
what's our next trip? Like, what's our dream? Like, what are we excited about?
Yeah, and I like that we've really always made that time as sacred as possible, right? Phones go away. We look forward to it. It's part of the routine, and
It's fucking hard for me to go do something in the evenings
yeah,
because I like that time so much.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I know yesterday I
Yeah.
wanted to go ride with Charlie. I wanted to get outside and do something. I've
Yeah.
been kind of in here.
but you know it's cutting into that time.
And I'm
Yeah,
like, fuck, man. But that's my favorite part of the day. Like, why can't I
Yeah.
not do content and go ride instead? That would be fucking better. But
No, I get it, and mine is similar, but obviously a little bit more different before bedtime. I usually don't start smoking until after dinner. Trying to manage my munchies a little bit better lately because they are very real for me. So trying to do most of my smoking once I'm already in bed, and I am less likely to go find snacks,
sure.
which is good.
Not everyone's got a snack routine before bed.
Right.
I do.
But like there's no way I'm going up and down those stairs. It's like that's enough. You know what I mean? If I could just get upstairs, it's not going to happen. Matt likes to joke that my bedtime routine is a 30-step routine,
It's fucking insane.
which when I nail it, it is about 30 steps, right? Because I'm taking out my contacts, I'm brushing my teeth, I'm putting in my retainer, I'm taking off my eyelashes, I'm washing my face, I'm using retinol, I'm using my Tox Fix, I am putting oil in my hair, I'm putting in my hair sack. You know what I mean? Like,
Thank
it's a
God
lot.
society
It's a lot.
wants me to look older. I'd be such a terrible girl.
Yeah, no, there's no way you could handle any of this maintenance wise.
No.
No, we talk about this a lot. Like if we switched bodies.
No, that's why men are disposable. Like we were built to take this beating that you guys aren't. I mean, between the two of us, right? Like we're the one that can have sex more often, produce more sperm, those type of things, and eggs are more limited. That makes you guys the valuable part of that equation.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, and we're aware of that. So,
Yeah,
trying to maintain. And, I think physically I started noticing a lot more changes between like 30 and 35 rather than like 25 and 30.
Fuck yeah.
Like, things require a little more upkeep now. Things require a little more maintenance. And
can you imagine
fine.
thinking
Happy
25 to 30 is old now?
No.
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't get any better.
But like I think about like lifting wise and like how your body feels in training, and I'm like, oh yeah, things have changed. It is true.
Yeah, your body slowly rolls you into like, hey, you have to do recovery work.
Yeah. Yeah. And then like one morning you just wake up with plantar fasciitis. Yeah.
Oh,
it's real.
God, yeah.
But yeah, we are managing. So slightly different nighttime routines, similar evening routines. And if you don't have like that sacred time with your partner, I encourage you to find out where you can carve out that time.
No,
It's important.
And look, that time for me is too. Like that's the time for us to be snuggled. That's the time for skin. Like that's the time for intimacy. That's the time for all that.
Yeah, I'm a very, very physical person. So like nothing has to be happening, but just like skin on skin contact, like refills my tank, refills my touch tank a lot.
Yeah, I'm not bummed about it.
Yeah, you seem to be into it enough, so.
Other than sometimes temperature regulation.
Yeah.
I run hot.
But.
Next question, I feel like we nailed that.
Yeah, onward.
But, all these routines, like, I'm not so dogmatic about it, right? Like, we can have some variance to it to allow spontaneity, because I think without that, like, I'm not interested in this robotic routine that feels like it's out of obligation either.
No, and that none of that ever does.
Right.
I feel like it's out of obligation, so.
No, I don't ever. There is some points, right, that like it's a full fucking excuse. Because I love that nighttime routine so much, and I really love getting to do fucking nothing.
Your excuse to not go do other things.
Well, is also like, but that's the time me and Bonnie share, and I kind of feel guilty not doing it.
Yeah.
Because it is two of us that it affects.
Yeah.
And I'm sure people feel that way with various things in life. Mm-hmm. It took me a long time for my morning routine. Yeah, you fuck it. You're laughing at me, but it's true. Like it took a long time for me to accept that it's real, that it doesn't bother you that I'm gone already by the time you wake up.
What? Yeah. And no matter how many times I tell you, like it's like you don't believe me.
Well, so even if I do you enjoy a slow morning with me where we drink coffee?
Yes.
Do you like it more than me being gone?
I like them equally.
Equal.
Honest.
Fuck, that wasn't what I expected.
I
had a trap for you.
Of course you did. But yeah, I love the time with you. But I also am someone that really enjoys solo time.
Yep. Yeah, which is why we don't work in the same fucking place anymore. We did that for as long as we could in the apartment.
Yeah.
Or as long as we had to.
Yeah.
We both know that we would function better with
more space.
With space.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I appreciate those mornings with you when I get them because they're rarer. But mostly, yeah, I like waking up and having the house to myself.
Fuck, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also enjoy
just like
alone
you.
time. That's why I come here when no one else is fucking here.
Just like you enjoy coming to Dope and having your spaceship to yourself, right? It's the same thing. So we need to rework that strange.
Yeah, I know.
Guilt.
I do it.
Little guilt
I'm
that's in
done
there.
not taking the action. I do it, and eventually, over time, with enough evidence of she's not bummed at me, it should go away.
Just like you, don't believe that I'm attracted to you.
It's very confusing.
Which we're working on things, guys.
Yeah. What do you have like that? What do you have that you have an association around?
I don't know. Come back to that. I'll think about it.
Yeah, that's a
I don't have anything off the top of my head.
All right. Next question.
Yeah.
Favorite part about traveling together on the long drives?
Oh, gosh. So many things. So much of that is just the conversations we have and getting that time together and that kind of forced disconnect together. And getting to dream together, getting to listen to podcasts together, getting to share new ideas. I think a lot on that podcast piece, because that's not something we get to do together.
No, we don't ever do that in any
regularly.
other instance.
Yeah, unless maybe we happen to be doing cardio at the same time, but it's still not, like a long form thing that you get in maybe like a 10-hour drive where you can crush a couple podcasts together. So I appreciate the conversations. I appreciate just the generalness of having a shared experience. Right. Because it's great to go on, part ways and go on different trips and kind of report back. But sharing that experience is something different.
Well,
entirely.
and again, and for road trips for us, right? Like I think the travel thing, you and I, especially when we road trip, it's not a destination base.
Right.
We're not road tripping to a thing.
Right.
We're road tripping. We're like the drive around and getting to shoot the shit all day without a real priority of somewhere to be at a certain time. Mm-hmm. Is what we love getting to do together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we know we both thrive in, slower pace. We need that slower pace. We both thrive in nature and green space and getting that time outside, that connection to the earth, that connection with each other. It's always been good.
And I love driving.
And you love driving, which is great for me because I don't like driving. So
right.
I
really fucking love it. That was never a problem I disliked with the outside sales job or the job I had working in the refineries before that. Yeah. Like anything that ever popped up and they would say, oh, we've got a job in Virginia and we need someone to drive because it's too expensive to ship this radioactive source.
Yeah, you volunteers.
I'd be like, fuck, I'll drive.
Yeah.
I get 20 hours by myself. Mm-hmm. Perfect. I can listen to podcasts and do whatever I want at work. This is great for me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it's great. And I love camping and doing all that. Grew up doing a ton of that. So it is right up my alley. I enjoy every bit of it. I enjoy the simplicity that comes with it.
I do too.
I enjoy our camp routine.
I just like our road trip routine. Yeah. That it becomes so much more focused on the day. Mm-hmm. Because I don't know where we're sleeping. We don't know where food's coming from. We don't know any of those details yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It just creates a lot more present.
Yeah, I'm silly.
Yeah, I love all that. Also, you get to see everything. Like when you fly somewhere, you fly over so much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very different rather than just being completely immersed in it.
And if you fly city to city in the U.S., it's really easy to think that's what the U.S. looks like. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't. Mm-mm. The U.S. is a fucking wild landscape, man. I recommend people get out in it.
Mm-hmm. I'm so excited for our next trip.
Any tips or help for relearning who you are after years of trying to fit in?
Ooh.
That's heavy.
Yeah, we switched gears quickly there.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So...
read that one more time for me.
Yeah. Any tips or help for relearning who you are after years of trying to fit in?
Yeah. Yeah. Spend time alone.
I think so too.
Yeah,
I think spending.
Go ahead.
Go. Yeah. I think this solo time, right? Like you need some self-discovery where you can start seeing who you are and what you're interested in and what your curiosity is away from this outside contact of expectations of the people you're around. If you can kind of lock in this concept, right? That if you've spent your entire life trying to be something based on the group that you're in, chances are everyone in that group is doing the same. So now you have a bunch of people who no one's genuine. You have a bunch of people that are just trying to do what they think they're supposed to do instead of doing with what they are, what their purpose is, what their goal is, what their passion is. And instead, you have people that learned all this from their parents that have these expectations of a way to build their life. And their parents did the same. So now you have like generations of people who haven't made their own choices, that only have done things based on who they were exposed to and what they were around and what they were supposed to do. But instead, what do you want to do? What are you into? And if that doesn't align with the people you're around, then you've got to be the one to make changes. You've seen now what this environment brings you. And it's time for that self-discovery and curiosity.
Yeah, I think that nails it, right? Just coming back to curious in regards to yourself, in regards to what you are into, in regards to what brings you joy, right? Curiosity is one of those high vibration emotions. So stay in that, right? Spend time alone. Spend time trying new things that maybe you aren't even sure if you enjoy, right? Like this is the answer I kind of give people when they're like, I don't know what I'm passionate about. Well, then try fucking everything.
Right.
Like
if
how beautiful.
nothing else, you've eliminated stuff, right?
Right.
Whatever
Right.
you've done this far yielded X. Quit having an emotion about it of like, I should feel this way about it and decide I don't. So let's make some new fucking choices.
Yeah. Cross it off your list, move on, try the next thing, right?
Or just transfer the parts of it you did like. You know, I did enjoy doing sales. I didn't enjoy working in this industry. I did enjoy this style of my job. I did enjoy this purpose of it. And then find it, whittle it down.
Yeah, I feel very grateful that I was single for like 90% of my 20s because I got to know myself really, really fucking well, right? I learned what I am looking for, what my standards are, what I will and will not tolerate in my life, and just was able to establish a really good sense of self and a really good relationship with myself throughout that time period. And I think that set me up, for a lot more personal success with my own relationship with myself in my 30s. You know what I mean? Because I already had this time spent alone, basically. Right? Like I have never even lived with a guy until I was 31.
Yeah, until me.
Until you.
Whereas my relationship past has been totally different.
Totally different.
Yeah, I've lived with 3 different women, counting you, and
right.
I really remember feeling during that stretch of late college and going into adulthood that I was really behind.
Yeah.
That like I hadn't found this relationship piece yet of like the puzzle that is success and happiness and what a good life looks like. And so like I was rushing to try to get there by a time limit instead of really figuring out what it is I want.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fake time frame that you feel like you're on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Yeah, right. That if you continue to do the work and you remove the expectation of when it's supposed to work by, it'll happen. But so many times, like that's the deal we'll make. We're like, fuck, I didn't find someone to get married to by the time I was 26. I better pick the next person who's interested in hanging around.
Yeah. People do it.
Fuck, people do it all the time. People also just stay in a relationship, whether that's intimate or not, over time because I invested this much time into it. Then that means I was wrong. So what? So fucking what? Be wrong. Better than doubling down on it. You show.
Yeah.
I'll show you. How do you begin to heal together as a couple once you've built a foundation to heal yourself? God damn. All right.
Yeah.
How do you begin to heal together as a couple once you built a foundation to heal yourself?
Beautiful question. I think that's all going to depend a lot on what you're healing from, right? Both Matt and I are fortunate enough to come into our relationship with no like massive traumas that we were healing from childhood, in regards to like something more serious like abuse or anything under that kind of umbrella. Both of us were pretty established adults with a good sense of self and, have navigated life pretty well up until this point. And I think both of us have always been turned on by the idea of more awareness, right? This higher consciousness, this elevated state of thinking and operating through that lens, right?
I wouldn't say always. This isn't like something I've always had.
Okay.
This is definitely something since you and I have been together.
Sure, yeah. And we've been lucky enough to navigate this path together, which has been very cool. I think about if we hadn't gone to that week of ceremony in Costa Rica together, like our paths would be entirely different, probably. Like, think about trying to explain that experience to your partner.
Especially if you're on the fence about it.
Oh, wow. And the crazy part, I was. Like,
Sure.
I wasn't even all in when we went down there. I'm just like, okay, this is what we're doing.
Yeah, because, I remember
very
you very
limited,
much saying, like, I don't know if I'll do every night.
Yeah, like, I have very limited plant medicine experience, but here we are, and I guess we're fucking diving in. So having those experiences together I think is so, so, so important. There's been moments where we have just like bonded on another level that I didn't even know was possible, in ways to connect with your person. So I think that goes back to creating these sacred times together, creating a safe space for each other, creating this environment, this container of trust, that you can have these conversations, these maybe uncomfortable things that need to be said or need to be discussed. It all comes down onto or back to the environment that you're creating for each other.
I back everything you're saying. I mean, the other stuff is once you kind of have this foundation to heal yourself, which, yeah, I'm assuming a little bit that we're talking about the same type of foundation, which one would be awareness and one would be accountability to your shit and all these other things.
Yeah.
Healing together is both of you having that foundation and being able to start treating each other based on those rules. Mm-hmm. And so with those rules of like not making an assumption, once you've healed yourself, like unless your partner's interested in doing work too, like it doesn't operate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have to both want it. You have to both be open to this idea of growth, this path that you both want to navigate together. Because I think it can be a little weird and things might get rocky if only one of you is going down this route and the other partner is like, not interested in looking at that, not interested in talking about that, you know?
Yeah, and then that'll build resentment.
Yeah,
I mean, also stop assuming that your partner knows what you need. Mm-hmm. If they haven't so far, instead of thinking that they're ignoring it, perhaps they don't fucking see it.
Right.
And communicate.
Right.
You know, take the accountability and say, how can my partner know what I need if I've never said it? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I think healing just has to come from this complete, open, honesty, ability to communicate with each other.
Mm-hmm. What else we got?
The difficulty of finding a partner with passion for something in life.
Oh, well, you're looking in the wrong places then.
Yeah, I don't have anything good to tell you there.
Been able
friend.
to meet anyone with passion?
Where are you hanging out?
Yeah, stop. Like, don't do all the things you've been doing.
Yeah, stop being around the people that you're being around. Like, I mean, are you not surrounding yourself with people operating out of the same passion for life that you are? Because if not, why? Yeah. Where do you think that these other people are going to just start sprouting and like show up in the group that's already existed that you've been around? Or are you going to start exploring? And like,
knock on your door one day?
Yeah, you think the universe is going to plant this fucking person neatly in your path?
Well,
sure. That path is life. That path is not hanging out in my fucking hometown that hopefully my fucking soulmate magically was born within 30 miles of the place I was.
Yeah.
You know, maybe if you haven't found him yet, maybe your fucking soulmate's in Bangkok. Get on a goddamn airplane and go find out.
Yeah. So, considering you've got access to everyone in the world,
I'm just annoyed with like what a fucking victim mentality that is.
Of course.
I can't find people with passion.
The question is obviously
fuck off.
Coming from a place of lack. So I would encourage you to rewire some thinking there, right?
No,
so
that alone. Like even then if you're operating out of that fucking question. Sorry.
If you're interested in someone with passion, like, okay, let's get a little bit more specific. Passion in what? Are you looking for people that are passionate about travel or nature or animals? Like, okay, great. That gives you a starting point, right? Like, start doing those things. Start hanging out in those worlds. Start meeting more people that are interested in these activities. Like, that question means that, again, like what Matt was saying, like, you're just sitting there waiting for this to happen to you, or you're doing the same old things and expecting different results, right? So fucking up your standards. High standards save you from low quality experiences, a low quality person, and a low quality life, right? That's what high standards do. So start changing your standards, start changing the circles you're hanging out in or the activities, and watch what fucking happens.
Yeah, and on top of that, right, like that's easy to look at and say, fuck, it's the people around me that are the problem. It's you. You're the fucking problem. Change your standards and hold yourself accountable to that. You don't get to try to hold the other people around you accountable. It's up for fucking you to decide that these are the standards I operate by and I live by, and I don't fucking drop that line. Because as soon as you do, you've broke trust with you. And now you're a fucking liar. And you're going to lie to you, man, you'll lie to anyone else. But people love and respect those people that have solid boundaries, that you know where the line is. So, I mean, man, if they're not fucking finding you where you are, it's just do something fucking different.
Yep. Boils down to that, right? Like, that's the definition.
Choices and take action. That's
the definition of insanity, right?
Quit being insane. In the membrane. Opinions on long-term, long-distance after being together for 10 plus years. Obviously, very situational. I guess situational, right? Like, did you get a new job and have to live somewhere else for a decade? Like, those are, I mean, if that's on par with the path you're both into and that's the current sacrifice you're making for delayed gratification of what you know your goal is, rock and roll. Do I think it's really fucking hard? For sure.
Yeah, probably. But also maybe not, right? Like, it all kind of depends on how the relationship was before. Are you people that enjoy your own time? And do you like missing your partner? Do you like being able to visit them? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. I mean, it all depends on the two of you. Like, there's no right or wrong. I know I can't make it work.
It would be an extreme challenge for us. We like a lot of together time. But I don't see it being a massive issue for everyone. Also, you've been together 10 years. Like, hopefully you have an amazing, solid... Is that what they said?
Yeah. Hopefully, well, I mean, they just said, yeah, together 10 plus years.
Yeah. So hopefully you have this amazing, solid foundation of love and trust and whatever that looks like for you built up. And it's entirely up to you how you handle it. Right?
And if you're going to separate, like, it doesn't have to be this burn every fucking bridge. You know, if you both want to move different directions for whatever reason, like, the relationship can be defined. I have no idea. I've only got so much information in the question.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, maybe I was interpreting it. It's easy to interpret that one.
Yeah, I'm just trying to look at it from all angles in case.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no rules for right or wrong to the relationship. It just comes down to, are both parties consenting? Are both parties interested in operating this way? And what are going to be the guidelines that we have to keep the relationship safe?
Yeah. Do we need a boyfriend here, a girlfriend there? Like, what is that? Is that something you guys can openly discuss and talk about?
Right. I would recommend having all those discussions.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully. Yeah. Hopefully you can have those conversations without either party being offended and, at least stay open-minded to what the other person needs.
Yeah. Slight change of questions.
Yeah.
I never heard who won the Tundra truck giveaway. It is one of our long-term fans, Christy Franklin. She won it and chose a different prize package, and so we went that route. She's going to go on her and her husband have the opportunity to travel wherever they want to with us, and I'll cover all of it. And then she's also now representing Not Dead Yet and getting all of our gear free for the next couple years. And it seemed like that was a better fit for what we had going on. And I'm stoked to have her to get to do some rad experiences with us instead of just get a thing.
Yeah. She's very much now like a part of the family, which is cool. And she's OG. She's been
around since
jump.
Long term. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what happened with the Tundra for those asking questions. Advice on being in business with a spouse. How do you run a business and stay lovers at the same time?
Oh, well, we really aren't in business together much.
Well, I mean, so we are with investment properties, right? But I think neither of us micromanage.
No, and the investment properties and the short-term rentals and stuff falls very much on my plate. Like, you don't get really burdened with those things at all.
But also with that, I don't have much of a vote.
Sure.
Right. Like, I'm also not trying to interject
and
be like, hey, tell me what's going on with this. Like, motherfucker, if you want to manage it, get to managing it.
Sure. Yeah. So that's really the only thing we are both 50-50 on.
Yeah.
Is our real estate business. Outside of that, my businesses are mine and Matt's are his. I'm obviously involved in Not Dead Yet to a point, as far as like some creative things when it comes to our women's apparel.
Yeah, marketing side of stuff.
Marketing, advertising, being a model for the gear, but that's about it. So yeah, like, I don't feel like it affects us being lovers.
Well, I do if you let the relationship get cloudy. right? Like if I'm not aware, right? Like, so even say you working with the amount that you do with the brand, and I start taking for granted that, like, you have to do that.
Sure.
I've never treated it that way, that you're expected to, And so being able to separate things and I think understand the difference. And when we've decided who handles what priority, the other one is support.
Mm-hmm.
And there's always someone driving the boat in whatever the instance is. Mm-hmm. I trust you to fucking drive the boat without me looking over your shoulder, and it seems you do the same for me.
Correct.
If I'm in support, that means I'll take the back seat, and if you have questions, let me know how I can help. If you need another brain to problem solve.
Yeah, exactly. Which we do all the time.
Yeah, which we do all the time.
We are constantly bouncing ideas off of each other or making suggestions, and both of us are comfortable enough to know that it's never coming from a place of attack or anything like that. It's truly coming from a place of love and support, because I know when you win, I'm winning and we're winning, and that's how it goes.
And neither of us are offended either if the other one doesn't follow that path.
Sure.
That just because I gave advice doesn't mean you have to fucking do it. You're still driving the boat. I trust that you've looked at all the options and are making the best decision you can.
Right. Yeah, no, but there's definitely things like, you'll show me upcoming graphics. I'll show you like what bookings have been looking like with the properties. You know what I mean? Like, there's always things. We're keeping each other in the loop. But I don't think we've never let that affect us as partners, as husband and wife.
Yeah, I don't know how it would work if you and I like co-ran a coffee shop. That's a very different working relationship.
Yeah. Yeah, and especially because everything that we do is digital.
Yeah, it's as much as we do that's similar, they both have very different responsibilities. And I've never felt like you were an employee or coworker at any point during this.
Mm-hmm. And we both bring different strengths, right?
For sure.
You have a much more creative brain, where I'm a bit more logical, less rational side of things. So that's great, because we can actually kind of fill in where the other one might need a little help sometimes. Like, I keep track of our entire schedule and what we have coming up. And I love that. And I wouldn't want you doing that part.
No, it's not great for me.
So it's again, back to knowing your partner really well, knowing your strengths, knowing your weaknesses, and understanding how to create that harmony within the relationship.
Yeah. What questions do you got?
So one question I got was, how do you deal with a partner that keeps bringing up exes and things from the past?
I'd leave them.
I know that was gonna be your answer.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't tolerate that either.
I fucking wouldn't.
If you're like, I really want to make this work, what would you do?
Okay, so let's go back in time, right? And let's say post my divorce, you and I are living together, and what I'm gathering is every so often when you get tense or whatever it is, you fire off something with me and attacking of like, oh, I guess that's the way your ex did it, or whatever.
Yeah, something like that. But you genuinely love me.
Mm-hmm. And I'm interested in this relationship, clearly.
You want to make this work, yeah. So how would you approach it?
I would have one really calm conversation about, hey, I'm here. I'm with you. I do have a past. I'm trying to learn from it. But I'm not going to do this thing. Like, you don't get to attack me with it to win arguments or do any of that.
Yeah.
So if that continues, you and I will cease to hang out. I'm not interested in that. It's not the direction I'm going. I don't have to listen to it. Just so we know where I'm standing. Your decision is completely up to you at this point. But these are this is the consequences if this continues.
Correct. Yeah. Setting that boundary with a consequence, right? Because your partner this is coming from a place of insecurity, fear, scarcity with your partner, right? And they might not even know that or be able to recognize that within themselves. I think that's possible, or might not be able to admit that, maybe. So it also could be effective. I like everything that, you just said, but also it could be effective to say, so I'm curious, you've brought this up a couple times now.
Right.
Why? Like, and actually help them dive deeper to kind of retrieve that answer and really help them follow that route down. And, you know, if it is coming from that kind of place of insecurity, fear, whatever, like, okay, let's talk about it. Let's create this safe environment where we can have these discussions, because you continuing to behave this way is not acceptable. We're adults, you know? So if this keeps on being a reoccurring thing, we aren't a fit.
Yeah, I don't know if you're aware of this, but I fucked other people.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we're adults.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and accept that that's fact.
Yeah.
And move on with the understanding that you're who we're currently with.
It's like caring how many people your partner has slept with. Like,
fucking waste of energy.
Oh, I know.
Everybody's better with repetition. What the fuck are we doing?
Yeah. So moral of the story is make a decision if you value this relationship enough to have that conversation, or if you just want to fucking bounce, because that doesn't sound like someone I would stay with.
Yeah, and if I want to help you with your flow chart, if at any point the person you're talking to can't have that conversation
Red
of
flag.
like why they feel this way, and they just want to stay in this loop of attack, you know, that's malicious. Like, you're saying a thing to make me hurt on purpose.
Yeah, red flag. You're dating
We're
a
fucking
15-year-old.
done. Yeah, we're fucking done. You operate like a goddamn child. I'm out. I don't know why you hung out this long.
Yeah.
I guarantee you this didn't just show up. So that's how I roll.
Yeah, I'd be out pretty quickly.
What's your other one?
Would we start hosting couples retreats soon?
Yeah, we really want to.
We really want to.
Yeah, I'm thinking spring or so. We were talking about doing one, keeping it pretty intimate, like 5 or so couples?
Yeah, maybe 5 or 6 couples. You know, here in St. Louis, bring everyone into town and just spend the weekend getting intimate together.
Yeah.
That maybe is not the right word. That maybe
No,
sounds
that seems like a different party.
Maybe sounds like
We're not going to fuck anyone.
we're not gonna. Fuck
I just
anyone.
want to be clear on that.
Yeah.
A couples retreat doesn't involve us being naked or fucking anyone.
No. Vulnerable. How about that word?
Vulnerable works.
That's a better word.
Emotionally naked. We just use all the catchphrases.
Emotionally intimate. But it would be, right? So, yeah, we're both very interested in that idea. Sometime maybe like April or May, bringing some people in and doing some fucking work together and talking about all those good things.
Look, it's going to be honesty and communication that are going to really make the big difference long term in your relationship, and feeling safe enough to be able to talk about anything with your partner, because you know your partner loves you. And if you're shared to share parts of you with them because you're afraid you're going to lose their love, we have to be able to feel safe and know that that's not the relationship we're in. We have to be able to build that honesty and trust, and the trust within ourselves to know that I'm still lovable if I can, period. You know, that I deserve love. I can fix, I can change these things that I don't want. I hate using fix, right? But like, it's bettering. I want to enhance the performance in your fucking relationship. I want the two of you to want to be around each other more. I want the two of you to want to fuck more. I want the two of you to want to connect more and do more rad things and grow together, instead of just be fucking friends that share a roof after a number of years.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Yeah. So it will happen. Stay tuned for details, because we've been in the works of planning this for a couple weeks now.
Yeah. We'll get a date up here in the next month or so and start seeing who's interested.
Yeah.
And probably taking some applications to make sure,
Yeah. Yeah. Make sure we're getting the right people with the right mindset.
Yeah.
I
There's
think is
some
super
relationship
important.
problems I ain't here to solve.
Yeah, for sure. Listen, we aren't professionals in that aspect. You know what I mean? We've just figured some stuff out on our own and enjoy helping others.
Yep. All right. So those are your 2 questions. What kind of mushrooms and how do you microdose them?
What is the microdose blend that we have right now?
I use Dozo. So Dozo's the name of the brand.
But what is it's reishi, lion's mane, cordyceps, and
no, so the Dozo is just all golden teachers.
It is all golden teachers.
It's all golden teachers.
So I
Doesn't
think
have
I'm
the
thinking of another brand.
The one we were using before.
Yeah, so the Dozo is golden teacher, and they make a 0.1 option.
0.15, and they also do like a 0.05 gummy.
Yes, and we've got both. And for both of us, it's typically 1 pill in the morning.
Yep, that's it.
sometimes 2.
Yeah, I take a 0.15 every morning, kind of as I'm starting my morning routine.
I like to take it with a little food in my stomach. Otherwise, I'm very aware that I've been slightly altered,
A little tuned up.
a little tuned up. So I just make sure I've got some breakfast in me, especially if I've had some coffee, because coffee and a microdose on an empty stomach can kind of be a bit much. But yeah, it's been a regular practice for us for years now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, it is definitely something as a supplement that I will continue most likely forever. Through my experimentation with it, I haven't needed to up the dose on a daily basis for it to still feel like I get the results.
Correct.
I've had times where I've not taken it for a few weeks, and I do feel like the accumulation of taking it kind of holds the feeling. So I don't need it per se every day. It's not like without it, I'm like, holy God, I haven't taken my microdose.
No.
You know, I know the difference between taking Ritalin and not taking Ritalin, right? And this doesn't operate that way.
Yeah. Yeah, so we do some cycling on and off with it. But it's a wonderful, wonderful tool I've found if we are hosting a thing or interacting with people and you kind of need to be on point a bit more. You know, for just a day of like hanging out at home, probably not needed.
No.
You know, you can. But I've found it's great if we're at like retreats or expos or something and I want to be on point and maybe a little bit more talkative. It's great.
Yeah, so you use it slightly different than I do, and I
Yeah.
use it way more for in that morning time, like in my morning routine and all that, where I'm kind of doing deeper work in my head and thinking about my plan for the day and like what goals I'm trying to accomplish or learn new information. That's when I find it the most valuable.
Yeah, I very, very much like it for social settings.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. Secret to a fulfilling connection with a partner.
Like the ultimate secret. Here's the one thing you've been missing. We know what the answer is.
Fucking?
Well, it's important, guys. We should all be doing a lot of it.
Yeah.
And communication.
Yeah, communication. I
It
think
sounds so cliche, but it's so true.
I think another part too, right? Like I love how much I love you and I love the ambition and I love everything you're trying to accomplish and how much you take care of yourself, all the things that are you. It's up for me to be accountable to stay interesting to you.
Yeah.
I don't fucking take for granted that you're interested in me.
Yeah.
I know that you're moving forward. And if at some point I just gave up, you'll become uninterested in me.
Same.
Yes. Yeah. Same. These are the fucking deal. And so like I want to continue to be someone you're into and grow into someone better than the person you met. It's not like you just bought that car and it fucking deteriorates over the next 15 years. Like this is an investment that I'm going to continue to be my best too.
Yeah, or that car runs perfectly forever without any upkeep and maintenance, right?
Right. That's how they all work. Just like
Yeah.
relationships. So that's how I feel.
Yeah. I don't look at relationships as work, but they take effort,
Yeah.
right? I want to be someone you want to be into. That's it. That's what it all boils down to. I want to take care of myself physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, in all these ways. For myself, of course, but also because I know that my partner deserves the best version of me. And I know I deserve the best version of me. So if I'm working on myself to be my most optimized, highest functioning, highest version of me, I know that's only going to make me a better partner, a better wife, a better everything.
Right. And I don't care what any of those destinations are for you, right? Like as far as little stuff of like what strength levels you'd like to maintain, what you want your body composition to be, what your hair color is, the way you dress or any of that shit, right? Like I just care that you give a fuck.
It's just the effort. Yeah.
I want someone who gives a fuck as much as I do.
But what was the original question again? What was the secret to...
The secret to fulfilling connection with a partner.
Fulfilling connection. Yeah. And then back to what I originally said about communication. That's everything, right? You need to feel safe enough. You need to trust your partner enough to where fucking anything and everything is on the table, can be communicated about, and no one is going to take offense or start operating from a lower place.
Right.
Right? Especially in the bedroom. Also, I want to
yeah, I want to be desirable to you. Mm-hmm. I'm not shaping who I am to your desires. There's a fucking difference. Mm-hmm. You're into someone who gives a shit about themselves. That doesn't have to do with me weighing X or being a certain height. You've dated a variety of men. So. Oh, got a question from an actual friend.
Okay.
Sean Whalen.
Okay.
What do you guys argue or disagree about, and how do you resolve that conflict?
I'm trying to think of what we have disagreed about
I
recently.
feel so like that's a weird one, right? Because I feel shitty saying we don't argue or disagree that much, because I really attribute argue and disagree to there being like a battle, like a conflict.
Yeah.
And none of our disagreements go there.
I know I'm racking my brain trying to think about the last time we didn't agree on something.
I mean, the truth is, like, it's pretty rare that you're as equally passionate about the opposite side of a thing as I am the other side, right? Like that we're on full opposition with fire for it.
Motorcycles.
Yeah, right. But like outside of that,
right,
there isn't a time that you're like, we should be doing this, and I'm saying we should be fucking doing this.
And yeah, and like it was a joke. Like it's not anything serious. Like
No.
it's not anything real that matters. I think the only thing, and it wouldn't even be a disagreement or an argument, but we definitely come from different places mentally in regards to finances and how things should be handled in that realm. I grew up in a household that like you didn't talk about money
Right.
ever, because it was considered impolite.
It's rude
to talk about money or politics or anything like that. So I just, come from that background. And our spending habits are a little different, and great. We have separate accounts. That works just fine. But understanding how you are, you understanding how I am, and why, right? That's the most important part, is the why. Like I'm not attacking you in regards to your behavior. I'm just genuinely curious. Like tell me your thought process here, because I'm thinking slightly different, and it just helps us to understand each other better. So again, it's all coming back to that communication.
Well, and we're both so quick to talk. Like neither of us will harbor anything and let it fester.
I used to. In like past relationships.
Same.
And
Same I would have too.
It's been an undoing thing for me, because, back to how you are raised and how you learn to deal with emotions and express emotions. I didn't learn how to express anything that wasn't positive, right? So when it comes to confrontation or conflict, like my instinct is to just shut down. Mm-hmm. And, I can think of times where I did that early on in our relationship, and you've always said like, like we don't do this. We talk about things, like we don't just shut down, we communicate. And that's been very helpful for me, just for feeling safe, because in past relationships, me communicating further would escalate things, right? So I've got this piece from childhood, and then this piece from young adulthood that like told me that expressing myself wasn't safe. So understanding that I am in a safe position where I can talk about these things that aren't super comfortable still took some time.
Sure.
So it took some time for me to learn, and some time for me to accept, and like, oh, Matt isn't going to blow up and yell at me, or he isn't going to hit the wall, or, you know what I mean? Any of these things.
From my standpoint, so one of the things I had to learn with communicating with a partner to not have it go there, right? Like is there's such a tendency with how I grew up and the way I'm competitive that I'm interested in winning. And a lot of times it can turn into that with your partner, that I'm interested in winning and less about what we're actually talking about. So having some accountability to notice that awareness in myself. Mm-hmm. The other side of it is when you and I started communicating more, you need time to process some things. I process through open discussion.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
And that becomes that's different.
Correct. Where I kind of like to sit quietly and think.
Yeah, you need a minute.
Yeah. And navigate it through my brain, where sometimes you just need a sounding board.
And I had to learn too that in disagreements with my partner, where our skill sets lie. Like I've been a professional salesman and I've hosted podcasts and speaking. Like I can speak fast and speak off the top of my head and fucking hit points. Me using that as a tool against you in a disagreement isn't fucking fair. That's not what you do for a living, right? And so it's not fair for me to bring that tool in and use to my advantage when what I want is us to be better. So it's accountable that I've got to be the one to figure out the tools of communication with you as well, so that we get where we want to go.
Yeah, and it's back to awareness around yourself, around your partner, understanding your partner's habits. I know that you've also really worked on like not having that immediate reaction and then coming to a place of more calm and understanding. Like you're kind of working on regulating that little bit of frustration better, or skipping right over it, which I appreciate and I've noticed a lot. So that's cool.
Thank you.
It's funny though when I know it's happening and I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna check back in about 10-15 minutes.
Yeah, he's cooking right now. Just fucking leave him alone.
I'm like, I present like some type of idea to you, and it's no, and then I'm like, all right, I know it's a good idea.
Yeah, at best bet, like I cannot let it spread to anyone else.
I'm like,
which is what I would have done.
If
I'm fucking miserable, how dare anyone else around me not be?
Yeah. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm just going to go ahead and check back in like 15, 20 minutes. And I know he's going to agree with me.
Yep. He'll be all right.
And you're not unaware of that. You know what I mean?
I also have no problem with being wrong.
Yeah.
I have no problem with saying I'm sorry. Neither of us do. Neither of us feels like we have to be right because neither of us believe right really exists. Right is a agreed upon thing that you and I do. Is it the direction we want this relationship to go or not?
Yeah.
How do we resolve that conflict other than communication?
Fuck.
Mostly we go back to fucking.
Were you thinking that?
That's what I was thinking. But it's basically the reward for everything.
This is a reward.
What kind of breath work do you recommend?
Well, there's lots of different styles of breath work. Is that the whole question?
Yep.
Yeah. So the one that I coach and facilitate is a transformative holotropic breath work. So it is very, very heart opening. It can lead to lots of emotions and memories coming to the surface. And that's definitely my favorite style to be involved in because I have had so many beautiful, profound experiences with it myself as a participant, that I love being able to share that style of breath with people and hold that space in order for them to do the work, to do the healing that they need. I've also done that breath work with couples, and I think that should definitely be a part of our retreat in the future, like just me with 2 at a time. Doing that, that's very, very beautiful and powerful for couples. There's also tons of styles of breath that you can do for just down regulation and calming down after a stressful or anxious situation. There's breathing you can do to prep for competition or to be prepping for cold, or, you can dive into Wim Hof. Wim Hof stuff is great. If you're looking at breath holds and also cold exposure there, that stuff is fucking fascinating. And learning just what the body is capable of through something as simple as breathing.
Yeah, I've all the same things you said. Getting exposed to the breath work was great for me, and what I like about it is kind of, for most of the time, if my breath work, my breathing, right, my intensity of breathing goes up or down is based on the activity I'm currently doing.
Yeah.
It's very weird that we would decide just to max effort breathe without the activity attached to it. And so I dig finding the control over that instead of the activity I'm doing being the dictator of what my breath has to be.
Sure.
It's just further control over another system. Even going to ride yesterday, I know big differences, like hill climb or any of this coming up. Like I know I can start hammering and getting oxygen in, and I buy myself time on the climb. Because I know that, like, all right, start hammering, start getting it in that isn't matching the effort I'm putting out yet.
Right. So as far as what we recommend, well, it depends on what your goals are, right? It depends on what the activity is that you're looking for. How are you looking to feel, right? Are you looking for physical performance? Are you looking to regulate your breath in the cold tub? Are you looking for a healing style of breath? You know what I mean? So it's not a one answer to fit all there.
Yeah, what I recommend is follow the curiosity. Like if you're having questions about breath work, do something. And if it sparks a second bit of curiosity, follow that. And if that sparks something else, decide like, well, fuck, what does this type do? What does this type do? What does this type do?
Yeah.
And give it time and some consistency and see if it's an improvement or not for you.
Just do a quick Google search, see what breathwork classes are happening in your area, see if any people are offering, Zoom classes or courses like that. There are also tons of apps out there that you can download with different styles of breath. So, and again, you have the knowledge of the world at your fingertips, so use it.
Yep. How long did it take for your cats to buddy up? I just got a kitten and I already have a 3-year-old. It's been a madhouse, but we're going to stay committed.
Oh, it took the boys about a week, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's about it.
We had Ollie first. And
How long did he and Chloe take?
Oh, well, did they ever really get along that well? She's such a sass princess.
Yeah, but it wasn't a madhouse.
No, but I think she's just talking about like the madness of a kitten, like the crazy kitten energy.
Probably once they're not a kitten.
Yeah, so Ollie was pretty upset that Doug was in his world at first, making some horrible noises that we'd never heard him make before. Wow,
real sass monster.
Real sassy, tail all poofed up. And Doug just kind of didn't seem to give a fuck. He's used to living with other cats. And
they both are.
Just made himself right at home. Well, more recently. So
sure.
I don't know about Ollie's memory, babe. I
don't know how that works. I assume it's very short. He's slept for 96% of his life.
And then, they probably started sharing like a food bowl, like maybe like day 5, like eating at the same time. And I think day 7, I caught them like playing together. And shortly after that, they were
absolutely
napping,
in love,
grooming. Doug was on top of Ollie this morning.
Yeah, Doug's a lover.
He's uncomfortable sometimes.
He's a lover. He'll fuck a blanket. He'll fuck Ollie. He'll fuck your chest. He doesn't care.
Yeah, so he kind of harasses sweet
everything
chonky boy Ollie,
but he's consistent. It's not like he's picking just on Ollie. We all get it.
Sure, he's consistent. So give it some time, right? You can't force it. They'll figure it out.
Yeah, we just won't kink shame our cats.
Nope, we don't kink shame. We can't even say cats. We don't kink shame Doug. Ollie doesn't have any kinks.
Neither of them are really gender. They're just cats.
Ollie doesn't have a gender. Doug's a little fucking creepy dude.
Yeah.
He's really
Doug's
weird.
a lot.
He's a lot, guys.
Good. Look, he's a good thing he's attractive. Otherwise, out in the street.
But good luck with your kitties. Please send me pictures of your kitten.
A couple more. I'm being wrongfully terminated. How do I wreak havoc? Cause fuck it. I wouldn't.
Oh Jesus! Yeah.
Move the fuck on with your life and don't give those people any more energy. All you're doing is creating more problems for yourself. You having this attitude at all in your life is most likely what's gotten you to being in a position that you're fucking now considering yourself wrongly terminated.
Yeah, I can't imagine like asking a question like that, behaving that way.
It's so fucking ridiculous.
You're an adult.
Jesus Christ. I'm gonna cause them some problems. I'll show them.
Yeah, just fucking.
I can't fit in their fucking business.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make a problem. I'll probably, lock their doors. Fucking ding dong. It's you're the problem. Yeah. Maybe take a fucking look in.
Yeah, if you're asking how should I wreak havoc, maybe the wrongfully part in that termination situation is untrue.
How about taking any of the energy you want to wreak havoc with and put it on yourself to figure out how you can be goddamn better at anything you want to do?
Move along, decide to change your vibration, and stop behaving that way.
How to inspire a partner to grow and take better care of themselves.
Lead by example.
That's it. It's the only one.
That's it. People aren't going to change unless they are very interested in changing. So the best thing you can do is work on yourself, work on your own growth, work on your own goals, and maybe your partner notices that and sees that as and as inspired and has questions for you and is curious. Outside of that, you can't.
Yeah. And if at some point it doesn't work for you, maybe understand that you've outgrown this chapter of life and need to fucking move on.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get to change them. Last one.
Okay.
Thoughts on partner using OnlyFans, porn in a monogamous relationship. When is it considered unfaithful?
Using, like watching?
Yeah.
Is that, okay. Sorry, that's not how I understood it at first. What is it? Unfaithful. OnlyFans / porn.
Yeah. So I would say whether your partner is paying for porn through OnlyFans or watching pornography.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When does it become a problem? It becomes a problem when it starts affecting the relationship, right? That's all it boils down to. Matt likes to watch porn. I've never really found enjoyment in it at all.
Right.
And I don't have any problem with him existing in that realm unless it was causing weirdness with us. And then it would be a conversation like, okay, why do you feel like you need this? I feel like it's affecting us in X way. What can we do? I don't want to take away something you enjoy, but I would like to discuss how this affects us and what we can do about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the same way I feel about it.
Yeah. If you were like watching a bunch and then like not wanting to fuck.
Right.
That would be a problem.
That's a fucking problem.
Right. So yeah, that would definitely be a conversation for us. Or if you are watching it and then like having these weird expectations of your partner. But there's that word again, expectations. You know how we feel about that word. Yeah. So I think it's fine unless it's making things weird for y'all.
Look, I think your partner gets a vote on deciding to say, hey, I think this is affecting our relationship. Let's have a discussion around it. Mm-hmm. However, I don't believe my partner gets full responsibility of if I want to jerk off or watch porn or consume anything.
Right.
Right? If it's not a problem for the relationship and we know what it is and we can discuss it, I come down to, are you fucking lying about it? Because lying's a fucking problem in your relationship. Mm-hmm. Not being open is a fucking problem in your relationship. Mm-hmm. Seeking disconnect is a fucking problem in your relationship. Mm. Porn, that's just a vehicle of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And maybe you can find some things that you guys are both interested in. Mm-hmm. Right? Have you tried that? We've tried that. Mm-hmm. And I've always just been like,
You don't care.
I just don't care. It doesn't do it for me. But maybe that's something you guys can explore together. How wonderful if that's a new, like, kind of cool, kinky thing you guys can share.
Right. Like, I mean, there also doesn't have to be any hang up on your side about whether or not your partner watches porn. Do you already have some block in your head that says porn is bad and any type of association with it is a problem? Or is it actually causing a fucking problem in your relationship?
Right. Yeah. Figure out if it's just a you thing or not.
Yeah. Is this a you problem? Or is this a thing that they need to change? Because you don't get to decide what they do and change. You can express disinterest. If it no longer aligns with you for an amount of time, fucking go find someone who does.
Yeah. Good questions today, though.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
That was fun. Drew, what time are we at? 1:05. We fucking did it.
Crushed it. That was a quick hour. That was a really quick hour.
When you're having fun, Yeah, I love you. Our Iceland trip's filled.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Our Iceland trip is filled.
Yeah.
We're going in July of 2024, taking a group of 15 people with us back to Iceland. This is Iceland 2.0 for us. It was the very first place we did a Trova trip. So I'm excited to return, see some favorite spots, see some of our Icelandic friends. And I will be hosting another Iceland trip the following week, since I'll already be over there. I'll be hosting Iceland 3.0 with our good friend Maddie Forberg.
Yeah, that's so fun.
We're going to take another group of 15 people around, do a bunch of awesome shit in Iceland, and I'm so excited to get to spend some serious time over there next summer. I miss that place a lot.
Yeah, it's great.
I can feel it. Like, I can feel like there's like an ache, like a longing to get back. So I'm excited for that.
You've also got, 3 spots on your retreat for September?
Yes, I've got 3 spots for my women's retreat left in this September in St. Louis here. If you feel called to check out more information on that, there's a link in my bio. You can read about all the activities that we'll be doing. We'll be doing hot, cold, breathwork, Reiki, massage, training. We'll have a private chef for the weekend. All those good things, all the things that I would want out of a retreat I created for you guys. So check out the link. See if that feels like something you're interested in. It's going to be a challenging weekend. It's not all like sunshine and rainbows. Like, we're going to get uncomfortable. We're going to do some work together. We're going to get vulnerable together. And it's a beautiful thing. I'm really excited to be able to host a 3rd one of these and continue to meet more awesome women.
Yeah, it's been rad.
Yeah.
I've got my retreat in October, the 20th through the 23rd. I think I've got 5 spots left open. And again, like, we keep this really intimate. This is a really closed container. Like, we put up with, your choice to come to the retreat. I'm putting everyone up in a house together. I do have a chef. We're going to be taking part in activities like figuring out your best version of a morning routine and the importance of it, learning how to take accountability. We're going to do a lot of breathwork sessions for various different ways. Some of the Wim Hof stuff, more up and down regulation for sports and performance and being able to manage anxiety, helping with down regulation for sleep. We're also going to go through this transformative breathwork with Bonnie. We'll talk about journaling also and do some fun stuff. We're going to take part in some outdoor activity, probably go for some type of a hike and spend some time out in nature. We're going to also play around with some different competitive things that I'm excited to kind of expose everyone to. But those weekends have been great.
Yeah, it's so not lost on me how amazing it is that we get to do these.
Yep. So come spend a weekend with us at Dope. 72 hours. That's all the investment we need. If you're willing to show up and give it 100% effort, I promise you will leave here different and with some tools that you can integrate in your life to change it to be whatever you want it to be. So, what else we got going on? I think that's enough.
That's pretty much it. We can't talk about Egypt because Egypt is full.
Yeah.
But we're probably going to spend like 3 weeks in Egypt this December, which is just crazy to say.
Yeah.
How
so
cool.
Keep up with us, man. So, we're creating this community with Not Dead Yet Life and working with people and trying to be able to create this physically interested, conscious, healthy group of people we all want to be surrounded by. People that are built on experience instead of things. People that are interested in, improving themselves and doing the work around it. From getting to travel internationally with us to be able to come and be intimate with us here. Again, intimate. We're not fucking anyone. I need to clear it up now.
But we just have this concept.
We feel differently about the term intimacy.
We feel differently about that term, right?
Yeah. I want to spend people that I love.
Like God. Yeah. I want to be intimate with you guys. That means I want to get to know you on that deeper level. Like, fuck that surface bullshit, small talk. Like, no, we're going to get into it.
Yep.
And I think that's a part of what's been so beautiful about this community that's organically grown around Dope and the amazing Not Dead Yet Life community is because all these people are willing to go there with you, right? They are referring to one another as brother and sister. Like, we're fucking family. Like, we are doing this together. We are doing the work together. We're growing together. And it's just been such a beautiful thing to see grow organically and turn into the magic that it has.
Yep.
Feel so blessed.
Yeah, it's fun. And I know we've got some fun stuff planned for next year. I know we're doing a retreat together. I will probably do an early retreat in collaboration with one of our new friends, Andrew, up in Montana.
That's happening in February.
Yeah, and that'll probably be co-ed.
Yes.
And so we'll have a rad opportunity there as well.
Yeah.
But look for a lot more. And if you want to travel internationally with us, like, here's a great chance. Are you overwhelmed by all the bullshit of booking a place and knowing this and not speaking the language and not sure how to get around? Like, we eliminate all of that.
Yeah, come see Iceland with me.
Yeah. So, thank you guys for listening. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I can't wait to do the next Q&A. We'll do these more regularly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love you.
I love you. All right. Thanks, everybody, for listening. We'll talk to you next week.